What's up, Jet Nation? The buzz is done. The first round of the NFL draft has been done, and the Jets. There was a lot of speculation. The Jets were trying to trade down for a while. For a couple of weeks, they were open for trading down, and they were also maybe looking at other guys like Quinnen Williams, Josh Allen, Bosa, all these guys, and seeing what their options were. And until the last second, they were looking to trade down, but they ended up not finding a suitor, and they took the best player in the draft, Quinnen Williams from Alabama. I think this is an amazing pick for the Jets. Look, I look at it this way. If they trade down, it's a win situation for them because they get more picks, and they do need more picks to get a better team. But Quinnen Williams is also the best player in the draft, in my opinion, and a lot of other people, they think Quinnen Williams is the guy for this team to come in and play his heart out. And he's gonna be alongside Leonard Williams now. And now that line is looking pretty good with Leonard Williams and another Williams coming in with this Alabama Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams comes at 6'3", 303-pounder, and he's just a big dude. Like, he can rock people out. And you can see the film of his, and you could see why the Jets passed on Josh Allen and Ed Oliver. They were high on Quinnen Williams from the beginning. It was Quinnen Williams or no one. I think when Bosa went out, I think Quinnen Williams was the guy if they couldn't trade down, and that was perfect. And that was pretty clear for the last 1 to 2 weeks that Quinnen Williams is the guy for the New York Jets. And they skipped. People are gonna say they should have got pass rusher. You can't. I hear you, but you can't argue that this is a bad pick because Josh Allen didn't get picked. Josh Allen fell to maybe I think the 7th to the Jaguars. So I forgot what Jaguars picked, but he fell, and the reason that people are saying the Jets didn't like Josh Allen, is because of his character, and they didn't like the character that he would bring to the table, which is understanding. But yes, the Quinnen Williams is the guy, and Ed Oliver buzz was obviously it was a buzz for a couple days, but he was never the top guy. He was a guy that maybe if they traded down they would grab, but Ed Oliver was never the top guy for the New York Jets. It was always Quinnen Williams, and in our eyes, we all knew Murray was gonna go first, and then Bosa was gonna go second. I knew that for a fact. I didn't think he would drop to 3. We were all praying for it, but we all knew that this was gonna happen, and we would either have Quinnen Williams, Josh Allen, and Ed Oliver for this pick. And they went Quinnen Williams, and everyone thought maybe the 49ers would get Quinnen Williams because people are saying he's the best player in the draft, but they didn't do it, and the Jets got stuck with the best player again, and which is not a bad thing for the New York Jets. So now, where Williams comes in, the situation now is, he joins a defense that's really tough up the middle now, with Quinnen Williams and Leonard Williams. The defensive line looks pretty good, along with C.J. Mosley as a linebacker and Jamal Adams, of course, as a safety for the New York Jets. The Jets have a tough group on the inside of their defense, but now they got to focus on the other positions. There's more rounds in this. We still got day 2 and day 3, and you got Mike McKinnon just said in his post conference that they are going to try to get into the second round, and the positions that you should be looking at is offense, center, offensive line, cornerback, and they have been looking at wide receivers a lot. I think they're trying to add more depth and help Sam Darnold, and as much help as they can get for him. And a lot of pre-draft visits that they had were wide receivers, and that's really interesting to me. Isabella is probably one of my best guys that I would want. He's the type of guy the Patriots would grab, and I kind of want him to be on the Jets. And I think he has probably the best speed and catching ability than anyone in this draft. And that's the wide receiver I would want to get personally. But again, back to the guy that we just drafted, Quinnen Williams. He was known as the safest selection in this draft. Bosa, people are like, oh, he's Nick Bosa, his brother, and he's better. He might be better than his brother, but we all know that Quinnen Williams is the guy that the Jets wanted again, and Boso is questionable, especially with his injuries. But we didn't even have that choice, so Quinnen Williams was the guy. And um, this is a huge draft. Mike McKinnon hits on his first round, and every GM pretty much can hit on their first round pick. But now it gets to crunch time. Now they have to go from a 4-12 team to try to get to a wild card team, and they've done a really good offseason so far. Getting Le'Veon Bell, C.J. Mosley, Jamison Crowder, Brian Poole, all these big guys, and Kalichi off a trade, and they've had a good season, good offseason so far, and now they got to think of how getting more talent on the team, and now the later rounds are very important, especially for Mike McKinnon. If he doesn't hit here, he could have his job on the line, and he could be fired next season. But the young guys are the guys that the Jets need right now, and it's a younger team now, and to be a playoff team, you need these young guys to come in and do some playmaking. So it's going to be interesting the next 2 days on who they draft. And again, the Jets were thinking about trading back, but I think the Jets are going to try to trade into the second round. I think Darren Lee will be a guy that you should be keeping a lookout. Maybe their third-round picks, maybe a future pick. But I think what is most important is that the Jets need to work with what they have and try to hit on the picks. Even if they couldn't trade into the second round, they got to hit on their picks so they can at least show that they're improving the offensive line or getting another wide receiver or getting cornerback, which is always overlooked by people. That cornerback is still a little bit of a questionable spot. We have a lot of wide open places. Darryl Roberts, we know. I wouldn't hand him the job yet. And Perry Nickerson, he's strong and wild, but you can't give him the job yet. But he's getting there, and obviously we need other guys that can maybe come in and just fit in with the Jets and try to get that defense a whole, because I believe if they can do that, they can be a top 10 defense, even better, and they can win us some ball games. And the offensive side is looking the same way as we thought it would be, and it's improving. We're definitely a different team from the 4-12 season that we had last year, and did you know the thing with last year was they didn't close out games. I think these guys can maybe close out games with defensive guys like Quinnen Williams coming in, and like all Mosley and all these guys can maybe close up the game for them, like in the last minute drive. But I know it's really important. Quinnen Williams was the right pick, and I love this pick. But now they gotta focus on the next rounds. Day 2 and day 3 are very important, and that's when you find out if this GM's legit. And Mike McKinnon hasn't shown that as much. Besides the Chris Herndon pick last year, Marcus May is still questionable for the previous years because he's always injury prone. But he's coming back. We'll see if he gets back to where we think he's gonna be. But there's a lot of guys that we picked up, and a lot of people have not worked out. He hit on Chris Herndon, like I just said, but we got to see more. And I think the Jets are going to look at the wide receiver position, tight end maybe, and then offensive line and cornerback is a must look. And they have, as of now, they have 2 third-round picks for tomorrow. I'll probably have a video for tomorrow after the picks are done for tomorrow. But we'll see if they trade into the second round. I think it's important that the Jets trade into the second round if they like a player. And I think they will be very active, like Mike McKinnon said. And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see, because this is where teams get built and through the draft. And this is a really important situation for the New York Jets. But we'll see. Mike McKinnon has done the right move so far from free agency into the first round of the draft. Now he needs to continue that. And if he can continue and we are satisfied by Sunday, Saturday, if we look at it all, analyze everything, and we're satisfied by Sunday, then Mike McKinnon is fine. But we got to put wins on the table, and that's the goal. And we'll see how he works on tomorrow. And, Quinnen Williams, great pick. Welcome to the New York Jets. And I'm excited. Let's get started, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video for day 2. Go Jets.